When we think about writing a PhD, we most often think about writing a monograph. That is a very large 100,000 words or 80,000 words, or if it's a professional doctorate, maybe 50,000 word long piece of writing with the usual structure of the abstract, introduction, literature review, theoretical perspectives, methodology, methods, with a bit about data analysis and ethics, findings, and then conclusion. But there is another route, and if you're interested in publishing from the PhD, it might be a good idea to start out with the article-based PhD instead of the monograph-based PhD. This has been established in the sciences for a very long time, and also it's quite a common model in Scandinavia, where often students will be working in research groups, and together they might well write a couple of articles with a colleague and then have two articles that are their own, so that they pull together a PhD at the end with 4 articles and the wrap being the introductory work, often called the exegesis, and the finished work at the end that pulls the whole piece together, the 4 separate articles and the kind of outside discussion of why you did it, how you did it, etc., together at the end in a conclusions, and that is possibly called the epilogue. So if you can imagine a different shape to the thesis, what you might see then is this introductory section, intro, abstract, theoretical perspectives and literature review, methodology and methods. 4 separate articles, each of which stands alone but takes a theme or a research question from this overall piece of research and takes it through the article shape, which is, of course, a mini shape of a thesis. Abstract, introduction, lit review, theoretical perspectives, methodology, methods, data discussion, conclusions, references, etc. 4 standard-shaped articles, which each take an aspect of the overall piece of research. If you want to do the article version, then you need to think about how you can set off from the beginning with these 4 articles in mind, because it's probably going to be much easier to think about, how am I going to ask the same question in 4 different contexts in 4 different ways? That will be my 4 articles. Am I going to ask 4 research questions, each of one which will form itself into a related piece of research and result in 4 articles, each focusing on the research questions? Remember that you will always have this topping and tailing of the exegesis and the epilogue, and then your 4 articles that have developed the research, enacted the research, and have their separate findings in the middle. So you need a staggered process. You need to plan this well and get 1 article out at a time. And in fact, you can probably submit your work when many of your articles are in process. You have submitted them, but they've not yet been accepted by a journal. So if you want to do the PhD by publication, you are going to end up with a PhD and articles. But the politics and the processes of this sometimes take longer than a monologue, because you are waiting for somebody to accept your work and to publish it, or for at least it to be in process and you know it's being reviewed. So should you want to do this work by publication, choose carefully the stages that you're going to work on and what the articles are going to be. Most people will do these articles themselves, but as I said, the Scandinavian model, or the model where you're working in a research group, might well enable you to learn from others' modes of writing by writing together for the first couple of articles. It's a way of getting your work out early, should it be reviewed and published properly in time, but it's also a way of being very stressed right at the end while you're waiting for this last article to come out. So good luck with this. It will also go through the publishing processes, but by the time you've finished, you've got a PhD, a monograph with the articles forming part of it, 4 articles out. And if you are in the Scandinavian system, quite often it is then bound into a book. You never need to do anything else again, really, unless you really want to publish lots more.